Alright, what is up, you guys? It is currently probably around 3 in the morning, 3:30. Let me look at my watch. 3:25. Whoops. Camera fell down. It's all good. Because I got my mount securely fastened to my dashboard now. Sorry about the lighting. As I just said, it's 3:25 in the morning. But I fell asleep around 9:30. And then I woke up around 2. So that's not good, because that means I only slept for 4 hours. But then so first off, before I went to sleep, I took 6 milligrams of melatonin. Lately, I've been taking like 3 every single day. And I took 6 yesterday, 3 milligrams at around, I don't know, maybe like 6:30 or something like that. And then I took another 3 milligrams around 8 because I wasn't feeling very tired. And then I woke up after only about 4 hours of sleep. So knowing that, the first line of defense is the melatonin. Second line of defense is then I wake up and I realize I've only been asleep for like 4 hours. I decided to read. I read about 10 pages of UFOs and nukes. And I wasn't feeling tired after that. Now, I could do something like break the nofap streak. Not that I'm on a streak or anything, but that's just the euphemism I'm going to use to say what one of the lines of defense is for falling asleep when I don't get, a straight up 8 or 10 hours uninterrupted. Instead of breaking the nofap streak, it was around 3 in the morning and I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym. Because that's another line of defense that I have against not sleeping the whole night, basically. So what I'm doing right now is I'm driving to the gym. I'll get there around 3:30 and then I'll do my routine. 7 minutes of stairs. You know why that is? It's because training rounds of jiu-jitsu are 7 minutes. So I do 7 minutes on the stairs. I'm going to do my rotator cuff stuff. And then have a back and biceps day. And by the time that is done and I get back to my apartment, it should be around 4:30, 4:45-ish. And if all goes well, I'll be able to get another nap in of a couple hours of sleep. That will then give me the energy and rest that I need in order to get through the workday tomorrow and still be at a consistent level of performance. So for example, yesterday I had a 10-hour workday, but I was working on this one task because I've been assigned a bigger, more long-term project basically at this point, and it's not dependent on some other subcontractor who could potentially withdraw or discontinue their funding for our company for me to, or another couple of developers to work on their project for. Now I'm put on a project where it's okay, it's an internal project. It's a little more long-term. It's not exactly something that you would just give to a junior developer or entry-level scientist. It's something more suited for like a senior level developer, a senior level scientist. But as you guys know, I'm like in a gray area. So it's like in my sweet spot, in the flow zone for me to like challenge myself and to kind of like learn, grow, and prove myself. So it's really a good project for me. But it was like yesterday, okay, I have this like smaller level sub task to accomplish towards that bigger goal. And I was like, okay, it's, I had worked 8 hours and I'd gotten in at like, I don't know, 7:45 or something like that. So it's like 3:45 in the afternoon yesterday. And I'm like, okay, I'm almost done with this subtask. I could leave now at 3:45 in the afternoon, or I could just stay until I finish this task. You know what I'm saying? And yesterday I decided to finish the task, and I feel good about that. And so that's like a higher level of output performance. So today, Wednesday, it's going to be a little bit smaller, understandably, especially because I only slept for 4 hours deep so far. We know how long REM lasts, like 3 hours. Anyways, I'm at the gym now, so. Alright, you guys, done with the gym, and now the time is a little bit before 4:30, what I say. So 50 minutes of working out, very time efficient, like I've got my watch with me and I only take like 1.5 minute breaks for this kind of workout. It was a little higher rep, and by higher rep I mean like 10 rep range, and I would only do about 4 sets. Now if it were, the heavier 3 reps, 10 sets kind of days, leg days like that, where, then it's going to be a little bit more rest in between sets, closer to like 2.5, even 3 minutes. And with lower reps, higher sets, versus higher reps, lower number of sets. Take a little bit shorter rest, which was today. So I only did 2 back exercises and 2 bicep exercises, in addition to my Stairmaster stepping for 7 minutes. So it was like a really quick workout, relatively speaking. But then, okay, I said only 10 reps for like the working sets. So like pull-ups, rows, and I don't count like there were a few warm-up sets, obviously. But then like my last exercise, which were cable hammer curls or like pinwheel curls, I also kind of would change my grip on some of the last reps and kind of just like hold just like a pronated grip and just kind of like squeeze and really like control the weight down. Those are like, I would do maybe like 20 reps, 25 reps, and I would do like a drop set on some of those. So, because then I really get a good bicep pump from doing that, as opposed to like going as heavy as possible on strict bicep curls. And so I was definitely feeling juicy, and I might have like some juice and some gummy bears when I get back to my apartment. And I'm gonna keep the lights off and just do my red light on my headlamp, so I can try to nap for a little bit, for like a couple hours or something like that. But then I just said I'm going to have orange juice and gummy bears. Then I'm going to, right away at work, have oatmeal and a protein shake. And then today is Wednesday, so at work, one of my favorite things at work is we have this software engineering book club. And lately we've been reading A Philosophy of Software Design. So you guys know me, I am all about philosophy. And it's not like, Kant or Hegel or Plato, Aristotle, hibbity hoobah, any of that kind of philosophy. There is philosophy, though, if you have a keen eye for it. It's like we live in the West, so we do live, whether you like it or not, in the shadow, the hierarchies, if you will, that were established by, I've talked about it before, the trifecta powerhouse of philosophy, Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. And especially after Aristotle, philosophy sort of crystallized, polymerized, hardened into, one could say, four main camps: ethics, metaphysics, epistemology, and logic. So it may not be apparent to the other guys reading the Software Engineering Book Club Philosophy of Software Design book, but they chose that title for a reason, and it's, philosophy of software design. So there are apparent ethical, metaphysical, epistemological, and logical aspects. It's like, obviously, you're doing computer programming, so there's logic involved with that. There are appeals to logic that inform the epistemology, the knowledge. How do you know what's the right thing to do when you're designing software? He also makes appeals to his own authority from personal experience, being that the author, Osterhout, I believe his name is, John Osterhout, he was like a teaching professor at Stanford. And so he'll make references to, like, he would give these students projects and he would see good and bad designs and he would bring those up as examples. And there are epistemological appeals, you could say, from those examples. Metaphysics, I don't know if there's a lot of metaphysics, the nature of reality, nature of being, but you could say maybe it's kind of presupposed or it's implicit in what the context or the goal is of software engineering, programming, computer science. Makes an appeal to sort of what is the place of software in the world? What is the nature of software? What is software and programming all about? What is its place in the world? That's maybe the closest to metaphysics. But then ethics, kind of mentioned that already. What is right? What is wrong when you're coming up with a software design? What is passable? What is not? Are there any rules? Are there any hard rules? So ethics, metaphysics, epistemology, and logic. So it's, anything could be considered philosophically if you try hard enough. Anything could be considered math if you try hard enough. Anything could be physics if you try hard enough. But anyways, I'm just ranting now. It looks like I want to say it's a waning half moon right now. Waning is where it's getting smaller, right? It's going away, I think. Or I think waxing is growing. I don't know. If you're one of those astrology girls and you're watching my video, slide in my DMs, but also comment below. I doubt it. But now I'm back in my apartment. And the good thing is it kind of snowed a little bit, frosted overnight. So I had to scrape off my windshield before I went to the gym. But now the good news is before I go to work now, my windshield's already scraped off. So I'm gonna plug in my camera, try to get a little nap in, and I'll see you guys in the next one.